everyone, Peg here. I am in the basement in the wee hours, just getting ready to do day 29 of Art Journal Habit 2018. I have a stencil here. I've decided, I had used this before and I had masked it off with masking tape. And I've decided I really love having these stencils that have an inside and an outside. So I think I'm going to cut this one apart. And you'll see what I'm doing here. Some people think, oh, you're cutting a stencil. Yeah, I'm cutting a stencil because you get more use out of it that way. Sometimes you have to make your own art tools. And so that's what I'm doing here is I'm going to make this something other than the way it came originally. This is a Stencil Girl stencil. And actually, I learned this watching Mary Beth Shaw because she was cutting up a lot of her stencils, especially the ones that are damaged. You get some that you've really abused. I really abuse. And, I mean, this one, I could actually have a couple of these, and I could cut it out in several different areas because I just think that would be cool. That would be so cool. So, I'm peeling this off because, yeah, this tape has been on here for a while. And I want to make a change to it. Now, the prompt for today is quarter. And so, because I want to do some gel printing, I've got my gel press plate out here. And because I want to do that, I want to kind of divide my page up into quarters. And it's hard to use the gel press on a page like this. Plus, my book's getting pretty fat. Can you see? My book's getting pretty fat, and I've got it clamped together here. So I'm going to set my book aside because I can glue my page in. Just going to put that over there, and I'm going to work on, I've got some pieces of Strathmore Bristol that I had out on my desk when I was working the other day, just catching the overflow. And I've cut it up because I'm going to work on that piece of paper today for my journal. And you can do this, you can just keep working on layers of stuff. You see I've got layers of stuff on my desk. I've got tissue paper and just old printing paper that, something was printed on and it isn't really what I wanted anymore. So, it would just become trash. So now I'm going to turn it into something artsy. So I've just about got this peeled back now so that I can do what I want to do with it. So let's see. I use these little hang things to hang my stencils up with. And I get those on Amazon. But okay, so now I think I've got most of the tape off of it. So you see it's a square to start with, but I'm going to grab my scissors. And I like this outside just the way it is as a square. So I'm going to cut this down. So I am going to speed through some of the cutting out portion of this. Most of this I'm going to let play longer. Thursday is typically our long play day on Art Joy Sharing live channel with Shell. But because Shell's not around today, we can't do that, and I'm going to be gone this afternoon. And so I just wanted to show you some of the process for how I create these pages and what I do to make my tools and things. So this is probably going to be a longer video than what you're accustomed to for me. That's okay. You can speed it up just by hitting those controls down below and getting through it. I am speeding through the cutting out of the stencil because I didn't think you guys needed to see me do all of that snipping. And now I'm just marking, where the stencil lines up so that when I go back to it, I can actually put it back together the way I want to. And tape does wonders, folks. If you want to put things together and use them in the original form, you can. I was grabbing a few Dina Wakley and what's her name? Jane Davenport paints. I like these paints, but I don't seem to get them out very much. So I grabbed a few tools. I think this is like a kid's toy or something. I don't know. Came in Happy Mail. I've got a couple of these soft tipped pieces that I can draw into my paint with. Of course, you saw my brayer and my gel print. This is just a floater edge. You can find these in the hardware. And what I've done with this is I've come along and I've cut this edge. You see that? I've cut that edge. And so I'm going to make a stamp tool out of that particular edge. This already has a cool edge. This has a cool edge. But what I want to do for what I'm doing today is I'm just going to take this, and because it's rubber, I can roll it up like so. And just take a rubber band and put it on here to hold it in place. And I can take that apart later if I want to use one of the other surfaces. But for right now, I get this down to the end here where it's holding this shape. So there's a lot of tools that you guys can use. You can make your own, like I'm, making my own, altering things, making it my own, even if it didn't come as my own. But now you see I've got this more interesting edge on here, okay? Okay, so let's get started. Now I've got, my scrap papers over here. I've got this. And I'm just going to start by putting some color down. I usually work with my plate going in this direction because that's just the way I work. And I think I'm going to start with a couple shades. Goober there. This is the turquoise. And I want to add a little bit of this Jane Davenport turquoise. Is a little bit different. So I'm just going to get those two turquoise colors blending together on my gel plate. It doesn't have to be perfect, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to put it down on here like so. And I want to pick up that quarter. All right, so I'm going to figure out where the edge is here, and I'm just going to pick up, and it moved around a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to pick up that quarter right there. Just like that. All right, so I've got my first quarter. I'm going to take one of these scrap pieces. I'm going to clean this out. Because now I have this, and I have what's on my brayer, and I have what's on my plate. So I'm going to pick up this. This is what was on my plate. This is the other quarter. I'm going to put that on the opposite side here. Let's see, I need to come over here about like so and get this edge. All right, so now I've still got a little bit of this on here. Take my other piece, use this as a cleanup on here. Okay, I've still got this, so I'm going to take this piece, put this down on my plate, and use it as a mask, because I've still got plenty of paint on my brayer, right? When I pick this up, I'm going to take it over to the other piece and clean it off. I got junk popping in here. Okay, clean that off. I've got this now to go on this quarter. So I need to figure out where this is going to go. About right there. Pick up that print. So you can see I'm building using the same tools. And then I've still got another one to do. So I think this time I'm just going to take this paint that I've got left over here, and I'm going to spritz it. Where's my spritz bottle? Here we go. Take my spritz bottle, spritz that to moisten it again. See if I'm still in frame. And fold that back like that because I don't want that overlapping. I'm just going to put that down on this quarter. You can see we can get a lot of different looks here. Now I've still got that in place. I'm going to grab this stencil, overlap it. I've got, let me put this on here to hold it down. I've got those sprays that I was working with the other day. Let's see, here's a primary magenta, which would be pretty with this. So let's spritz that with the primary magenta. You see that? That's just going into that area. Now I've still got stuff here, right? Still got stuff here. And I stuck my finger right in that. So I've still got stuff on my stencil. So I'm just going to brayer some of that off. Because we're doing our quarters, right? And they're all going to be different. Now I've still got this on this piece. So I'm going to come down here with that, put that down, and see what I get with that. Clean that off. And put that over on my cleanup sheet. And that's still got some paint on the back side, so I'll clean it up some even more. But that's going to create something interesting too, right? Alright, so now I've got 3 of my 4 quadrants, and I've got this. So I think I will mask this off and take my spritzer and do that. And take my extra paper, clean some of that up. Still got this one that's masked. I'm going to turn that over on there. Set my quarters aside. You can see how you can build things quickly here. And I've still got a little bit of stuff on my paper. So that's coming along too, right? So here's my quarters. I need to dry that just a little bit. Okay, so now let's go back. I like what's going on here, but let's go back to our gel plate. And let's pick up a bright. What do I want? Let's go with something green, maybe. Here's a bright lime green. That's pretty cool. And then what do I want to go with that? Here's a, I just goobered myself. I don't know if I want that. Where's my yellow? I have a yellow here somewhere, right? Oh, blushing would be pretty. Digging through my pile. White. There's yellow. There's a yellow. Lemon. Lemon yellow and blushing. So let's get a little bit of this out here. I might get a green on the edge because I've got that turquoise underneath. I'm okay with that. Get my blend going here. Okay, so now, remember we cut this other piece apart, right? Oh dear, I'm all caught up here. So we cut this apart and I've got this really cool shape here. So I can use that. I could use this in conjunction with that if I wanted to. So let's start with this. I just want to put a quarter on here. So here's my quarter. And I think I want it to come this direction. So let's just print that. See what we get. Okay, I'm liking that. I also want to pick up some more of that off of there. So I'm going to come in with my pickup paper. Get that. So now I have that on my pickup paper. I'm also going to have this, which I can print. So I'm going to take that piece and print it right up here. And I need a new brayer that doesn't have paint all over it. I'm going to grab another brayer so I can print that down. So that's pretty cool. Let's see if I can get any more off of there. Not really. Looks like it's pretty dry. Okay, so now I've got this. I've still got this piece up here. So I think I will take a print with my excess paper from that. Get my brayer. It's clean. Pick that up. All right. I have this, which I'm just going to brayer down. And I have this that has, see all that goodie that it picked up? I love that. I'm just going to print a portion of that on this one. Here's my brayer. Just want to get that little portion right there. On the edge. And then I want to fold it back this way, and I want to get this portion right here on this edge. Okay, so now I've got that going on. I need to add something up in here. So I've still got this. I'm going to spritz that, moisten it down a little bit. I'm going to fold that into my quarter, and I'm going to print that piece right there. Okay, so that didn't do much because it had dried down. So in order to pick that up, I'm just going to use some other paint, and I will print that one. But I've still got this on here. It's still fairly wet. So what I'm going to do is brayer that onto some bubble wrap. And I'm going to print that bubble wrap. Okay, so there's our 4 quadrants. I'd like something dark to distinguish the difference here. This brayer has really gotten dirty. So I'm going to clean some of that off. See here, I'm going to clean some of that off. And I'm going to take my baby wipe and just clean my brayer down a little bit. Okay, so I've got this piece. I've still got this on here. So I want a dark to pick that up with. So let's introduce another color. Let's see, I've got Ocean, and I think I had some Midnight here somewhere. Let's see, do I want Ocean? Do I want Midnight? Midnight's kind of dark. I think I'll do the Ocean. And I just want, I don't know, that's awfully close to the other one. Maybe I'll do a combo of the Ocean and the Midnight. Ooh, that's gotten pretty thick. I need to use these paints up, don't I? Okay, so here's my brayer. Yeah, it's gotten really thick. I think I need just a hint more of that Ocean in there because that's really dark. Yeah, want a little bit more of that. Okay, so I've got this stencil that I haven't used yet. I think I'll just take what's on my brayer and I will use that in conjunction with this one on my scrap piece. Okay. And you can see I've still got a design here. So I'm just going to put that on my other scrap piece. This is going to put this down on here. And then I'm going to print. I want that down here in this corner. So let's see what we get with that print. Let's see if I got it covered enough. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool, right? So I'm liking that, and I want the contrast over here too. So I'm going to pick this up. That's lovely. And I think I'm just going to spritz that with a little water. And I'm going to pick part of that up on this one. That got pretty dark. That's okay. I can change that. Now I've got what's on my stencil is not wet because that paint was really getting dry. So I think I'm going to go back here and use the stencil this way. I'm going to use my scrap paper Pick some of that up. Now I've got that left on my plate that I can grab with, I just want a portion of that, I think. I just want this very edge here. Like so. And then I want to get the rest of that on this piece. So let's come down here. Is that where I want it? Come down here and grab this. Okay. There's our quarters that I'm liking a whole lot. Still got this goodness. So I'm going to spritz that with some of this color here. And where's my, I don't want that. Let's grab some of this. Right there. A little bit up here. Yeah, I'm finding that interesting. I also can drop something. What did I drop? I don't know. Let me get that ocean. I'll use that to pick up some of this. Put that on there. Don't want it on that piece. I want it on this piece. That's where I'm going. You can just keep playing. All right, so now I've got this. And it should still be wet. And I'm going to get rid of the outer ring because I only want that portion. I only want that portion right there. Let's see if I can get it to print. No, didn't do much. Oh well. Alright, but I've still got this, which I think is going to be great. I've got this on here. I just need to clean that off on something. I've got another card. So I'm going to brayer some of this color down, clean off my brayer. And now I want a light color. So let's find something really light. What do I have here? How about some white gesso? Or what else have I got here? Oh, I've got this rosy color and the acrylic elephant. Let's see. Let's do Let's see what this rosy looks like with, I think that might be a metallic. Don't think I want a metallic. I've got blushing. Let's put a little bit of this blushing down here. Just going to put some on here, and I'm going to add a little bit of white gesso to that. Back and forth here. And that's good grief. How did I get that gesso everywhere? Alright, I got a background started with that. This is still very, very wet. I want to pick some of that up. Just lightly pick some of that up. And then I want to print that right in the middle, I think. Let's see what, in my 4/4, I'm going to put this on and take my brayer and see if I can't get a really clean plate with this print. I'm even liking the back side of this. See how we're doing. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so we've got this background, we've got this. Now I think, really liking this one too. Now I think I need to do a little bit of work with some paint pens. Okay, so grabbing some high flow and some paint pens, and I'm gonna do a little bit of embellishment on top of here. These are Liquitex. They're in a fluorescent color, so I've got this fluorescent yellow and a fluorescent pink, and I'm just going to outline that additional square that I printed in the middle of the page, just to set it off from the background portion. And then I'll grab that pink and go into some of those edges just to add a little bit of something. I am finally using that tool that I made with some of that hot pink just to add a little bit to the background and to pull that across. So I like the shape of the tip of this thing, so that's what I'm doing, is I'm just going to put that on there, dry it down, and we'll go from there. And I just want to make sure that it's flowing, and it is. And I see different things that are going on here, so I want to emphasize some of these areas in my quarters, right? I can see where some of these things are overlapping. I can see where this actually extends beyond. From my centerpiece out to the outer edge, which I think is pretty darn cool. You guys see that? So I've got this going on here. And that's 1 quarter of my quarter, right? I can also see that it's going down here, but that's not exactly what I want to have happen in that area. But I think I will emphasize some of this down here. And up in here, I can see that this is making a statement out this direction. So that's pretty cool. And I need to get my quarter of my quarter here and here. I think I also want to outline my little fluorescent hot pink stuff. Maybe even this yellow needs the white. And I'm not going to do in the floral area, but I will do next to it. Okay, and then I don't know if I can just, I might have to squeeze a little more of that high flow out and get a tool. I was thinking I wanted to come down here with a contrasting color, so let's see what happens. I'm going to grab let's see, I've got Payne's Gray, which is not a black. It's kind of a blue gray. I've got this yellow, which I don't think I like that. And then I've got my black. Let's just go full contrast. Let's do the black and white. So I've got my black now. And it's flowing. So I want to do, oops, I want to do the other portion of this down here with the black. And then I think I will also do some contrast up in here with that. Do a little bit to the center of this. What do I want to do over here? Okay, and then a few little statements over here. Continuing the flow of our quarters. And there we have it, quarters. So, still got this white and black out here. I think I should probably get a brush. Do a little bit of splatter with that. Okay, so we got that. A little bit of the black up in here. And right down here. All right, that's it, guys. I will get that dried off and